microfinance is actually crucial to economic growth, but also to meaningful development that can raise people out of poverty and put them on the road to prosperity. And many studies have shown, and Plan is convinced of that, that engaging women and ensuring women's economic empowerment is also key in this microfinance work, and that could contribute to really improve the livelihoods of the entire family. So what is the EU planning on doing to ensure that first micro enterprises can develop independently, but also that you engage women and that you really promote women's economic empowerment?
Well, first of all, we will indeed very soon come out with policy proposals of how to better promote the development of the private sector in our partner countries, starting at the micro level, but also for bigger economic activities. So we will make a series of proposals on how we in the future propose to contribute more to the development of the private sector. And I think this is very important because 90% of all jobs are created in the private sector, and therefore if we want to bring the very many young people in developing countries into the economic sphere and and make them contribute to growth of their country, the first thing is to provide jobs for them, and this comes from the private sector. Now, when it comes to the very small companies or micro activities, we have been very active. We have a portfolio currently of around 500 million euros in microcredit schemes and access to finance for small operators. And we will definitely continue to provide microfinance. I think we are also leading in adapting the microfinance schemes to better meet some of the challenges which have been recently also the subject of public debate. So we will be trying to make sure that microfinance is really benefiting people and is not creating problems for them, as it was the case with certain microfinance schemes. So we will remain a very important actor in this area because we are convinced that this is very important. And as you say, it is one possibility to bring women into the economy.
Mm-hmm. And well, DEFCO is actually working on a private sector engagement policy, and you will soon release a communication on that. What impact do you expect this communication to have on the private sector's engagement in development?
Well, our communication, first of all, has several objectives. I already mentioned one of them, which is to promote the development of the private sector in partner countries. And there are many different things that we can do, and we will have a plan of action included in the communication. But we also want to engage the private sector in the developing countries, but also in the developed world, to make sure that many of the activities that they actually carry out can contribute to the objectives of development policy. They can do so. Just take as one example, the big food production companies. They all need basic agricultural products, very often coming from developing countries. Now, if we can get these companies to contribute to the development of a sustainable small-scale agriculture by creating stable supply chains for their food, by helping the farmers in the countries to produce in a sustainable way and to have all the conditions they need, the big food producers in Europe or elsewhere in the world can actually contribute to the development of small-scale agriculture in developing countries. And this is in their interest because they then can claim that they get their input materials from sustainable agriculture. So this is good for the public image. It's also good for the consumer because the products will be safe and will be good basic products. So you can actually get the private sector to carry out its core activity, making business in such a way that it contributes to development. And so this is a second orientation of what we will be putting into our private sector paper, and we will make proposals how to engage the private sector in these activities. This involves obviously also promoting corporate social responsibility, but it goes beyond that. It really goes all the way to getting the private sector to make its core business also helpful and useful for development purposes.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Rudischhauser, for answering my questions today. That was very useful, and we'll make sure to continue collaborating with you and the people in DEFCO on the private sector post-2015, but also on girls' rights, women's economic empowerment, and other topics which are both priorities for PLAN and for the EU. Thank you very much.